was 1988 in the mountains in Pennsylvania. October, about a week before Halloween. Anyway, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I got up to get a glass of water and laid back down in bed. It was a beautiful night. Oh, all the stars were out. And so I was looking out the window at the stars, out my bedroom window, and I noticed this one bright star. So I kept looking at it and looking at it. Well, this star started descending, and I thought, oh, I was wrong. It's not a star. It's an airplane. Well, so I kept watching it, and it was coming down, and it looked like it was getting bigger and bigger. So I got up and I stood at the window and watched it. Well, darn if this if this bright light didn't it looked like it was coming right towards my house. So I got my husband up. I said, "Come on, get up, you've got to see this." So anyway, he gets up. Now, by this time it was getting on 3:30. Anyway, it came over my neighbor's dairy barn and came down their long driveway, across the road, and headed up my driveway. Can you cut? So this was a bright white object, sphere. It was going very slowly, and it was so bright I could hardly even keep my eyes on it. But it was a gorgeous white bright light. Well, it was just over the treetops and going really slow, maybe 15 miles an hour at most. So it came down my long driveway, just skimming the treetops right towards the house. As it got closer, and I'm holding hands with my husband because we're both like, what the heck is this? As it came over slowly, it lit up the whole bedroom, and we both turned to get out of the way of the window. And so it was over the house, and I ran to the back to see it go over the house. Well, cut, I can't do this. It was right over the roof. If I was able to climb out my window and crawl up on the roof, I could have touched it. Anyway, so it went over, and I ran to the back of the house. My husband stayed in the bedroom. I expected to see this bright white light, which was the size of maybe a garage and a half. I mean, that's the size of it. It wasn't there. It didn't go over behind the fields of my house. It was just gone. So I came back to the bedroom, and I'm so speechless about this darn thing. I wanted to say something about this light. You could not tell, because of the brightness, the white brightness of it, if there was something solid under it, beneath this white light. I just wanted to make that clear. Okay, so now I go back to the bedroom, and we're discussing it for a few moments. What the heck was that? It was totally silent, no noise. Like I said, it was so close, if I could crawl out my window, I could have touched it. So, we're thinking about this for a few moments, and I see another light coming. And then behind that, another light and another light. There's 3 lights in a row coming above the treetops. As the 3 lights got closer to the house, coming down my driveway, we could hear what sounded like helicopters. As they came over the house, they swept their searchlights back and forth across the house. One went over, boom, 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 boom. Then the other one, and then the third one. Well, we did the same thing. We got out of the way of the window. It was like, oh my God, they can see us. I ran to the back of the house and looked out my door. This time I saw each helicopter as it went over the house and over the fields. They had their searchlights going back and forth. Okay, so I come back to the bedroom, and I'm kind of shaking a little bit, and my husband was a little bit shaking. What the heck was that? It was totally silent, no noise, and so bright. So we sat down in the bed talking about it for a minute, and then a feeling came over me and my husband, and it was like total peace. It was just like everything in the world, every problem you ever had, everything went away. It was like everything was wonderful and peaceful. Well, okay. So I went and I laid down on the bed, but this time I laid on my husband's side of the bed. He laid on my side, which is right by the window. And I do remember laying down on my back, which I never sleep on my back, but I lay down on my back. My husband was on his back right next to me. And I was giggling, and I just felt wonderful. And my husband was kind of like giggling too. And then I felt him with his elbow bumping me, you know, like, D. I said, what? He said, D, look out the window. And I could barely turn my head, and I turned my eyes, and I said to him, what do you see? And he said, the eyes, look at the eyes. And I could barely see, I was numb, but I was just still laughing. And I could barely move my neck, and I just looked over, and just the eyes, which looked, and I'm going to use something a friend said that had seen something once, like a glossy black, like looking out at night on a rainy night that's dark with the water falling down on the window. It was just glossy black eyes. Well, there's more to the story, but I'm going to have to stop it right now.